Sunrise Hospital in Las Vegas is known for its chaotic nights, the overcrowded ER, the heatwave power failures, the faulty HVAC vents that send freezing gusts into certain rooms, and the East Wing electrical surges that shut down monitors without warning. Nurses hate working that wing, especially one specific space that has gained a reputation: Room 7. It's a room staff whisper about, a room that should feel ordinary but never does. Room 7's legend began with a real case in 2014. An unidentified man was brought in from the Strip, labeled Patient X. Paramedics said he had normal vitals but was unresponsive and rigid, possibly a rare neurological condition. When they placed him in Room 7, nurses noticed the temperature dropped sharply, even though maintenance had worked on that HVAC vent the week before. What should have been a simple medical observation turned into something unforgettable. At 2:05 a.m., Patient X, who had not moved since arrival, sat straight up in bed. His eyes looked black, not dilated, but hollow, like nothing was inside them. A night nurse said he spoke in a voice that sounded like multiple people whispering at once. The security camera facing his bed flickered and died, even though hallway cameras on the same circuit stayed on. Techs blamed the East Wing surges, but the timing felt impossible to ignore. Minutes later, the hospital suffered a partial power outage. Emergency lights turned on everywhere except Room 7, which somehow stayed fully illuminated. A guard swears he saw Patient X standing beside the bed, head tilted at an unnatural angle, staring at the door as if he knew someone was watching. When the lights finally returned, the bed was empty. Patient X was gone. No hallway footage, no exit, no record of transfer. The official explanation was clerical error and misfiled documents, but staff didn't buy it. Nurses insisted they felt something cold move past them in the hall that night. Maintenance later confirmed the vent in Room 7 had jammed open again, blasting air at temperatures it shouldn't have reached. After that, the room was shut down for a month. But even empty, people reported hearing soft scraping from behind the walls and a slow tapping from inside when they passed by. One nurse said it sounded like someone trying to signal for help. Another said she heard breathing on the other side of the door. The legend grew. Some believed Patient X had died before ever reaching the hospital, and what sat in Room 7 wasn't a living man at all. Others believed he was alive but disconnected, trapped somewhere between life and death. Whatever truth existed, staff agreed on one thing: Room 7 never went back to normal. In 2019, during severe summer overcrowding, the hospital reluctantly reopened it. Cameras were reinstalled, the vent fixed, the wiring replaced. But the cold pocket remained, and even new staff said the room felt wrong, like someone was still inside. That year, elderly patient Eleanor Briggs was assigned to Room 7. She had no history of hallucinations, yet she begged nurses not to leave her. She described a tall figure in the corner, faceless, unmoving, but watching. Her readings were fine, yet her fears spiked so high doctors considered transferring her to a calmer space. The hospital was full. They had no choice but to keep her where she was. That night, the hallway lights flickered, and the temperature dropped so suddenly nurses felt it in their bones. The monitor in Eleanor's room began to glitch, showing numbers that made no medical sense. At 3:02 a.m., the alarm went silent. When a nurse ran inside, she saw Eleanor arch violently upward, eyes wide in terror, reaching towards something behind the curtain. The overhead light exploded, plunging the room into half-darkness. The nurse grabbed Eleanor's hand, but the moment she touched her, she felt something icy grip her wrist. Eleanor gasped once, and died. The hospital documented the death as cardiac arrest, but the staff member who held her hand quit the next morning after reviewing the footage. She claimed the shadow in the corner moved, reaching toward Eleanor as she died. Room 7 was sealed again, and this time permanently. But workers still say the sealed door sometimes shakes slightly as if someone is pushing from the other side. Months after Eleanor's death, Sunrise Hospital hired a new night nurse, Jordan Lee, who didn't believe the rumors. He had worked in trauma centers across the country and thought ghost stories were just coping mechanisms for stressed staff. But on his fourth shift, while passing the sealed Room 7 door, he heard something that froze him where he stood. Breathing. Not normal breathing, but slow, heavy, drawn-out breaths like someone with damaged lungs. He pressed his ear against the metal door and felt a faint vibration, as if something inside was moving. Thinking it was a ventilation issue, he filed a maintenance request. The next day, the maintenance team checked the room and found the air completely still. No ventilation. No movement. No airflow at all. Jordan laughed it off, blaming fatigue. But that same night, cameras in the hallway captured a tall, thin shadow standing directly in front of the sealed door at 3:07 a.m. It stayed still for almost 20 seconds before sliding out of frame. No footsteps. No sound. Security reviewed the footage repeatedly. The shadow did not match any staff member's height or build. The hospital quietly archived the clip. A week later, Jordan was assigned to monitor the East Wing during a minor power fluctuation. As he passed room 7, he felt a burst of icy air hit him, even though the door had been sealed for months. The temperature drop was so extreme his breath turned white in the hallway. The lights flickered, and behind him, something scraped the floor slowly, as though metal was being dragged. Jordan spun around, but no one was there. He took a shaky step forward, and the power went out completely. In the pitch-black hallway, Jordan heard a low whisper. "You open my door." He ran. When the emergency lights powered back on, a dark smear, cold to the touch, was found on the sealed door of room 7, shaped like a long handprint. Jordan reported the incident, but the hospital chalked it up to panic and bad lighting. Still, they reassigned him away from that wing permanently. The hospital tried to move on. For months, the room stayed quiet, until late 2022, when construction crews were hired to renovate part of the East Wing. While drilling through a section of the wall adjacent to room 7, workers found something unsettling: deep gouges on the inside of the plaster, as if someone had clawed from within. The hospital halted construction immediately. Officially, they blamed structural damage from moisture. But every worker who saw the scratches said the same thing. They looked deliberate. Security increased around the wing, but it didn't stop the sightings. Visitors began reporting a thin man drifting across the hallway, always near room 7, always silent. Nurses said they sometimes saw a figure crouched in the corner when they checked empty rooms, only for it to vanish the moment they turned on the light. The legend of Patient X resurfaced. Staff whispered that he never left the building, that the thing inside room 7 wasn't a spirit or a demon, but something in between. Something that wore the shape of a man but wasn't human at all. To this day, room 7 remains sealed. The cold spot outside its door never warms, even during the hottest Vegas summers. The cameras facing the door malfunction at least once every week. And sometimes, just before the lights flicker, you can hear breathing again, slow and heavy, waiting behind the door. Locals say if you stand in front of room 7 long enough, you'll feel something press its palm against the metal from the other side. And if you hear it whisper your name, walk away. Don't look back. Because whatever haunts room 7 remembers everyone who enters its hall, and it never forgets a face.